Your heart just stopped. 1 second ago, it was beating, pushing blood through your body, keeping every cell alive. And now, it is not. That is how quickly it happens. That is how simple it appears. This is the moment of zero. And what happens in the next 60 seconds is something science is only beginning to understand. Because it appears that the exact moment you die might also be the moment your brain becomes more alive than ever. Let's start from the beginning. The first thing that happens when your heart stops is actually nothing. At least, nothing that you can feel. Your blood pressure drops to zero. The 5 liters of blood that were circulating through your body only moments ago now become still. When there is no pump, there is no flow. And without flow, oxygen can no longer reach the places that need it. But here is the strange part. Your brain does not know this yet. For about the first 10 seconds, your brain continues working with the oxygen that remains in your blood. Your neurons are still active. Your thoughts, whatever they were, continue. Technically speaking, you are still you. But this window closes very quickly. About 10 seconds later, something changes. Your brain, which is the most oxygen-hungry organ in your body, begins to realize that oxygen is no longer arriving. Your brain consumes around 20% of your body's total oxygen supply. Now the cortex, the part responsible for conscious thought, slowly begins shutting down. This is the moment when most people lose awareness. The eyes no longer process images. The ears no longer register sounds. From the outside, you are gone. But from the inside, something completely different might be happening. In 2023, a scientist named Jimo Borjigian from the University of Michigan published a study that changed the way we think about the moment of death. Her team studied brain activity in 4 coma patients as they were being removed from life support. They expected brain activity to slowly fade away, like a machine running out of power, like a device slowly losing its final bit of energy. But that is not what they saw. In 2 of the 4 patients, only seconds after oxygen levels dropped, the brain did something nobody expected. The brain suddenly surged. A powerful wave of gamma activity appeared across the brain. Gamma waves are the type of brain waves associated with consciousness, heightened awareness, memory recall, and even dreaming. And this was not random noise. This activity was organized, structured. It was concentrated in a region of the brain connected with out-of-body experiences and visual processing. Borjigian's reaction to this discovery was simple. The increase in brain activity was crazy high. Now, this is where science enters a much stranger territory. For decades, people who have been brought back after clinical death have described experiences that sound remarkably similar. Bright lights, the feeling of floating above their own bodies, a sense of peace so deep that it is difficult to describe. And then there is something called a life review. You have probably heard the phrase, "your life flashes before your eyes." Most people imagine this means the biggest moments. A wedding, the birth of a child, your greatest achievements. But people who have actually experienced this say it is not like that. They say it is not only the big moments, it is the small ones. Riding a bicycle as a child, sitting at a desk checking emails on an ordinary Tuesday, or even a white cat sitting on a staircase that you do not remember at all. This last story is real. A young man who was revived after clinical death described seeing a white cat on a staircase during his life review. He could not connect that memory to anything. He did not remember ever being inside that building. After recovering, he described the staircase, the apartment layout, and the cat to his mother. She told him they had actually lived in that exact building, with that exact staircase, and a neighbor had owned a white cat. The strange part? He was only 14 months old when they moved away. This creates a question neuroscience still cannot answer. Are all our memories stored somewhere inside the brain? Every single one? And during the final moments, does the brain somehow open the entire archive of your life? We do not know. But brainwave data suggests something is happening, something far beyond a simple shutdown. Now let's return to the body. Because while your brain might be lighting up, the rest of your body is beginning to go dark. Around 30 seconds after the heart stops, blood is no longer delivering oxygen anywhere in the body. Your cells, all 37 trillion of them, begin to realize this. They switch from aerobic respiration, the process of creating energy using oxygen, to anaerobic respiration. This backup system can still create energy, but it comes with a cost. It produces lactic acid, and that acid begins building up quickly. Your muscles, no longer receiving signals from the brain, begin to relax. The jaw falls open. The eyelids lose tension. The pupils become wide and fixed. Your eyes are still physically healthy. The lenses still work, but now they are only lenses, as if nobody is behind them. Or maybe someone is. This is where everything becomes strange again. Dr. Sam Parnia, a researcher in resuscitation at New York University, has spent more than 2 decades studying what happens to consciousness during cardiac arrest. His AWARE studies, among the largest studies of their kind, examined hundreds of cardiac arrest patients across hospitals. The results are difficult to ignore. Many survivors reported some form of awareness during the period when they were medically considered dead. Organized thoughts, clear memories, a sense of awareness. Many people describe seeing someone familiar, a parent, a grandparent, someone they loved who had already passed away. Some say that person told them, "It is not your time yet." Others describe feeling guided somewhere. Whether these experiences are comforting illusions created by the brain or something beyond our current understanding is a question science still cannot solve. But one thing appears again and again. Many survivors do not describe death as terrifying, not darkness, not emptiness. Many describe it as peaceful, calm, even beautiful. But death is not always immediate and irreversible. After about 1 minute without a heartbeat, the body is damaged. But recovery may still be possible. This is why CPR matters. This is why defibrillators matter. Brain cells can often survive several minutes without oxygen before permanent damage begins. Meaning that in the first minute, you exist in a kind of biological middle ground. Not alive in the usual sense, but not completely gone either. People who return from that experience rarely come back wanting more money, more status, more success. They come back wanting more time, more conversations, more ordinary moments with the people they love. Because maybe, in the end, the moments that matter most are not the huge events, not achievements, not milestones, but ordinary Tuesdays, the moments you thought nobody was recording. But your brain recorded everything, and in the final minute, maybe it plays it all back.